By Mrs. Purdy Jones, owner with her husband of the champion Broward Rocket, magnificent bay stallion, being shown here today by Len Bigley. That is not...
Welsh Mountain Ponies, Broward Rockets, and the reserve champion, Bengad Day Lily, who I'm sure will do a magnificent show for you. If you can give them a warm hand, please.
Thank you, it is.
Let's get out. Let's get from it. There's enough of it.
Spectacular jump as well. That's the noise of the bike starting up. 27 good position stations there. And as they're doing so, let's just warn you one or two danger fans. Please stay outside the arena at all stages of the performance. Well, they're all set to pitch now, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the 1985 motorcycle display team of the Royal Corps of Signals, the White Helmet. After this, our opening ride, very shortly now, you'll see those two lines of riders split for a series of high-speed crossovers, or cuts as we call them, in the centre of the arena. The double Jimmy. Jimmy is the affectionate name that we have for Mercury. And we believe that it's also the oldest performed by any motorcycle display team in the world. Well, we come now to the first of our backwards streams. The hanging ladder. And I think this one illustrates well the trust that is part and parcel of full fatigue. Incidentally, the machine we're using today is a Triumph jumping. But of course it's not quite that simple, so they'll be crossing each other's path at the same time. They come round for a second time, notice how the riders open their throttle and pull back hard on the handlebars to land rear wheels first. Well, those boards will now be repositioned facing into the pit. Well, there they go, ladies and gentlemen, the jump rider. Another exercise in teamwork here. This time, it was originally a combined motorcycle and horse display, but these days we concentrate solely on the bikes. Well, picture now, if you will, a bunch of flowers. In fact, a bouquet. 10 men there on one machine with a combined weight of well over 1 ton. Well, this was always an extremely fun in the middle of those 10 bodies today. Signalman ding or bell. Our home base. They then go on to a further 4 months show training to reach the standard of riding you see today. Well, here comes the old man of the team, Sergeant David Burgess, into the centre of the arena. He'll marshal in our team car, a brand new Austin Maestro, very kindly lent to us by the maker. But we don't think that's quite enough, so we'll be adding a few bikes as well. I'm sure you'll have guessed by this stage that we are in fact going to jump that conglomerate. We'll use another British machine for this, but this time an Armstrong 500cc motocross bike. And jumping today we have Signalman Adrian Smith, and you may be able to see that he's wearing a black peak. Well, this is awarded to the last man to fall off in public. Let's hope he doesn't repeat that today. He's called forward now, should reach third gear by the time he jumps. Well, a massive leap and well held at the end. Makes it look very simple, doesn't it? Well, for this next one, we have a little trip across the Irish Sea. Not quite to the land of saints and scholars, but to the Isle of Man. And you see that three-legged insignia depicted for you here. Where not to watch. So this one's the fastest, the closest, and certainly the most dangerous ride that the team performed. Ladies and gentlemen, the Irish Whip. Well, on a good day, those bikes will have a closing speed of some 60 miles per hour. And you'll see that they're actually chasing each other's rear wheels. Indeed, that is their aiming mark. There you go, once again, I'm sure you'll appreciate the type of iron nerve that it takes to ride that particular one. It certainly gets my heart going every time I see it. So once again, as they form up to leave the arena, how about a nice big round of applause for the riders of the Irish Whip. Fairly confident, and it looks like he's going to give you a little bit of a waggle there. We've turned that round now for the reverse 40. He is a little bit of a showman. Well, we come now to the first of our two human pyramids. 13 men there on 3 motorcycles. Well, unlike other motorcycle display teams, we use no ropes or ladders in the formation of these, and the whole thing's held together by sheer guts and determination. And incidentally, all but 3 of those young men are in their first year with the team. Well, if you can see the faces of the riders, you might just be able to tell that the result is a good blaze. Well, there's absolutely no trick to this. The riders wear no goggles or protective creams, and you'll see also that they're wearing open-faced helmets. I can assure you from really bitter personal experience that it really does get extremely warm in there indeed. So if you see one or two of the lads after the show, perhaps missing an eyebrow or even sporting a fairly healthy suntan, well, the chances are that they've been fire jumping. We did have a slight injury on this one yesterday. You'll be glad to know he'll be out of hospital today. That's one of our fire advisors there, just giving the team sergeant a hand with the setup for the jump. Not sure what he's after. The team sergeant normally isn't forgetful. Looks like he's forgotten the matches today, though. Well, he doesn't look too keen to give it to him. Never mind, he's got hold of it now. I think these two might have been on the Wrexham lager. Well, hang on, I don't think we want it lit just yet. Stand a good chance of setting the team sergeant on fire. Never mind, he doesn't look too sure of himself. I'm not too confident of his abilities. We normally have a very good pair of firemen with us, but this doesn't look like the normal pair. Oh, thank you very much. That was a complete failure. Never mind, because very shortly the team sergeant will call forward our own firelighters. We have 4 fire jumpers today, 3 of them in their first year with the team. Well, there she goes. You can probably feel the heat from where you're sitting. First man through, Signalman Steve Gillan. That's a good jump there. Signalman Doug Humphreys. Second man through, always the worst one. What a good jump. Lance Corporal Bob Kirby. Another good jump there. And finally, Signalman Steve Morton. Well, there you are, 4 good jumps. Well, the only problem now is we have a little bit of straw left running in the arena. As I say, that's no great problem because we always bring with us this expert team. Now, hang on. I didn't warn you that this wasn't our normal pair. I'm not just too sure how much control he's got over that machine. At least he's reached the scene. Well, come on, boys. How about some water on that fire? That's a good start. I think he spotted a bucket over here. Well, not too successful. Well, how about filling the bucket up again? We've got to get this fire out to continue with the show. There'll be a tap around somewhere. What are you doing taking it out of the ground? You won't get any water from that. Magic, is it? Managed to get some out of it. I think he's been working on that one for a few years. Well, never mind. Let's get this fire sorted out now. We can continue with the show. I don't think you really need that ladder. How about just pouring the water on the fire? He's determined to use it. But not a very brave effort. Well, the fire's just about well, I don't know what exactly he said to it, but it's certainly done the trick. And we get on with the show now, and you'll see plenty of backwards riding, but this one's rather special to us, for it's done flat out. It is a good example of one of the main facets of being a team member, that absolute trust in one's partner. Are you mate? The riders will now form up into a line before accelerating off into the pits in their pairs. And as they do so once again, how about another big round of applause for our reverse riders? Well, here's one that this young man thought up for himself. That's Lance Corporal Bob Kirby, riding like an eagle for you. And as this one goes round, it does just give me an opportunity to point out to you that tricks on motorcycles, or these BMX cycles, are potentially very dangerous. So please don't try and copy anything you've seen us do here today. Morley, he's sitting on the handlebars there. And every rider strives to master, and I'm sure you'll agree that those of them who have can be justifiably proud of their skills. The top. And this is a good example of the the bikes having no steering hooks. You can see that he's steering that solely by leaning the bike over. Well, on a good day, he'll go right over the top. And I think he's just taking a second go round now just to check out his course. Well, if he's going to make his move, it'll be on this home straight that he's going. Well, here comes the larger of our two pyramids now. A grand total there of 22 men on 6 machines. Well, this one's probably one of the team's most famous stunts, and in recent years has been performed as far afield as Canada, the Oman, and of course the last year's Royal Tournament. And as it goes round, just spare a thought for the man whose face you can't see, Cogle Dave Taylor. He's holding the top man up. And incidentally, he's new on that position as stunts himself. I want to go and ask the team sergeant to get rid of these characters. And for this we have 16 bikes in the arena at once, and they'll form a figure of 8 for a series of continuous cuts. We're very pleased to have in the box the former president of the Royal Welsh Agricultural Society, Sir William Quinn. Ladies and gentlemen, the white helmets. And as the riders leave the arena, you'll see that 2 of them have peeled off, and by way of a curtain call, they're going to try and wheelie those machines across the arena for you. And just remember, they're using normal road bikes, which really were designed for this sort of thing, and also weighing in some 360 pounds. First man through, signalman Steve Morley. Good bounce of the front fork, and up he goes. Let's see how signalman Adrian Fish now can do. Well, an excellent one for that. That was reserve champion 1482. Very good section of riding, turning, breathing.
Don't pay him.
Oogjes waren zo groot. Wat een leuk. Ik heb even...
Welsh archers that day laid down a rate of fire that was something in the region of 15 to 20 arrows a minute. That meant that the advancing French cavalry were receiving on the battlefields of Europe during the later Middle Ages. And it is a tradition that has been admired by many for several centuries, that these were common men who fought with nothing but bow and arrow against the great armoured knights. To start with, we're going to show you a crossbow, a far more accurate weapon, but in order to understand the Welsh longbow, you have first of all to see its counterpart, the crossbow. The crossbowman is now loading the crossbow. You can see that it's a very slow, laborious job. He has to physically pull the string back by using the stirrup at the bottom. He then places the bolt in the sleeve, and he then has to aim and shoot. And it's just gone very gently into the archers have in fact warmed up their bows. They've been running their hands up and down, and using the sweat of their palms basically to soften the wood and take some of the stiffness out of them so that they can be used.
Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is a combined competition for the Lloyd's Bank and also for the Tom and Sprightly. The Tom and Sprightly is one of the Welsh A, B, C and D.
8.62, we do not get any more, Veronica will win indeed this championship. Rosemary Tilson is next to go with Ron Gibson for Ardy Coney. He's jumping very well this season. Won most convincingly at the City of Swansea and took the area international trial from a lot of very good riders there. Rosemary Tilson and for Ardy.
En niet zo goed fotomodel.
Wat heel goed mogelijk zou kunnen zijn dan, in zo'n geval.
Ze willen zeker weten dat je geen ponies exporteert die niet van ons zijn.
Een beetje lacht, zei Dick, dan zal het wel goed gaan. Dus dan hoeven ze niet van de waan.
Dat is ook wel een halve bak.
Ja, dat is
dan gaan we maar weer poetsen. Leven bestaat er ook alleen aan het werk.
W.A. and K.R. Ashworth, a 3.5-year-old cow recently rose the fourth. This cow was reserved to cream at the crops in West Midlands, and the cow has only in fact been shown 3 times this year. Coming up behind now, we have the blonde Aquitaine, and here we have the champion male, champion that's been here so many times, from Ian Aister, the 4-year-old bull, Potteridge Scepter, winning the Royal Welsh for the 4th time, and the champion of the Royal of England, 4th time winner at the South of England this year, champion of the West Midlands, and remember, only shown 4 times this year. As a matter of interest, this bull has lived in London, of all places, all his life. In fact, was born in sight of the Port of Tower.
Well, they must be, in all honesty. I mean, it's like all the Welsh practices are so tough.
Yes, they seem to. I've had one case of scars, and I'm in a bed, and the vet came out, and he looked and said, "You're bed, there's nothing wrong with it."
Zit er weer iemand op ons? Hé, iemand op ons, hij komt op de Bloemendaal, dat kan je heel veel weten. Maar daar heb je natuurlijk nu, we moeten water hebben en anders dan water. En het beest met een beest. Is het jullie ook?
Het is een hele hoop natuurlijk, geweldig. Ja, ik niet hoor, ik zit een beetje opzij.
Ik ben wel geweest.
Er zitten ook nog verhappingen bij, dat valt me beter.
Oh ja, ze zijn Bent u dan vandaag hier?
Kan gebruiken. Die moet dat kunnen. Ja. Ja, nog een uitnodiging meer. Die is best geen
Voor nog met de Romeinse water.
Hé, we moeten eens heel ver in zetten.
Heel groot is dus als we naar Noord-Holland gaan.
Ja, het is wat, hè? Nieuwe stokjes.
Ja.
Nou, eens kijken of we...
Als het nou opgenomen wordt, morgen om tussen 5 en half 9 en 5 over 9 wordt uitgezonden. Programma 4, 5 of 6. Wat komt er jouw voetjes niet net staan? Waar een ponyvoetje terecht komt? Ik weet niet of het vanavond is.
Iedereen wil graag met je meedoen. En als je wat type, dan zorg je dat blijft.
Hey, dat vond ik natuurlijk.
Lekker in de wagen gezeten.
Dat scheelt. Heb ze in ieder geval wel gescoord?
Morgen ging lekker gewassen worden. Maar het mooiste was, iedere keer kwam die kleine pony naar binnen toe.
Hip hop pap.
In de kist.
Even mijn sokken naar breken.
Hij moet je snel.
Ja, dat is verleden.
Ja, dat is
Lens!
Nancy. Dat is lang gepraat. Ja, al die beesten.
Hey, de televisie.
Ja. Ik niet beveel, past niet.
En dan zie je dat ik de baan en dan gemaakt. Ja, en als je lekker die beweegt. En dan kun je stoppen.
Ga om. Maar nog niet. Sta.
Staat het geluid er ook op? We zijn ook de groen doen. En de groet aan mijn moeder. En aan mijn vader.
Ja, en aan mijn zieke buurvrouw.
Maar we hadden heel goed mee overweg kunnen. Nou ja, nu zijn we er.
Ja, gewoon blijven staan.
Maar ik had een foto doen, dat jij nog niet.
BBC.
Ah, ik kom er toch ook op, of niet?
Ja, er zit speld achteraan.
Niet gedraaid. Zeg, nu dacht ik dat Jezus.
Koraal.
Ja, hij heeft zo weinig batterijen. Ja. Jij kunt me weg. Oh, het lijkt wel een Japannetje. Zie je dat? Alles vastleggen als het al. De manager. Nog even, een foto maken.
Gelijk.
Nee, hij komt goed hoor.
Van de Beekman. And these are Welsh clubs? No, these are Welsh mountain clubs. My girlfriend and I, we have a Welsh mountain
yeah, I suppose I could do, Bill. That wouldn't be such a bad idea, would it? Okay, so if you start recording, I'll come and do about 2.5 minutes.
And it will go on the radio tomorrow morning.
Because we had such a huge harness task that you're being asked to trot a little bit later than we anticipated. We pay tribute to the patience you've shown and to the loyalty which you show year after year to the Royal Welsh Show in coming forward and putting on a fine show. Thank you very much indeed.
When the Dutch Welsh Club Society had the 25th anniversary, we had to look for a gimmick.
Right, leave outside. We're not going to start the trotting until everybody is out over the rails.
And it's England that has Collins first leg. But join the council with Wednesday to one of this. Next week will be. But it's joined still just by the lady. And look at the front, ladies and gentlemen. It's by the lady on the inside, England on the outside. And England are just in front now. This long striding rocking pick coming with a tremendous run, ladies and gentlemen. And they win it up from the
David.
but it's still just by the lady from the Englanders. Then we've got Rocky Pick running around. And Rocky Pick will have the outside now.
We invite back our friends from Holland to George Lachlan to win honors. Right, there will be 16. The first one is Antelope in a white chariot. Zeus in a moss green chariot. Europe in a red chariot. Apollo in the blue chariot. Hercules in the grey chariot. And Julius Caesar in the black chariot. And finally, we are going to have Mike Flynn of Radio Wales. Mike Flynn of Radio Wales will do a lap of honor. And if you want to hear all about it, you will hear all about it. You tune into Radio Wales tomorrow morning. And here we are then, the Roman chariot, the white chariot first, Antelope, the green chariot, Zeus, where the day is going. Followed by the blue chariot, Apollo. Then the grey chariot, Hercules, the red chariot, Europe, and finally with the four purebred Welsh mounted ponies, the black chariot, where is Julius Caesar himself. These races will be running 2 races with 3 competing in each. The final then will be between the 2 first prize winners and the faster of the second. The first one, the white chariot Angelus with a mixed team of Palominos and black. The green team Zeus with the 4 bays. The blue team Apollo with a white coloured chestnut. The black team Julius Caesar, the black chariot with the 4 grey Welsh Section A ponies. There they are lined up in front of the President's box. And our grateful thanks to the Post Office for sponsoring the cost of bringing the chariot and the 24 ponies, the drivers and the owners to Holland. Here they are taking the salute in front of the President's box. Here we are, the first lineup. Green is Zeus. Zeus in front of the grandstand. With Apollo in the center. And Julius Caesar on the inside. Julius Caesar in the black chariot in the inside. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. There they go. Julius Caesar on the inside. Tonight is very clever. Julius Caesar on the inside. So he's sitting well in the lead.
got a good lead to start. But Julius Caesar in the lead. 4 lengths equal with Apollo in the blue chariot. Apollo in the blue chariot. And Zeus on the outside because they are going to travel further. It was Julius Caesar in the Welsh competition. 4 little grey ponies from the hills of Wales. Julius Caesar still in the lead. Julius Caesar followed by the blue chariot Apollo. Oh, what do we have here? Somebody coming in from the inside. Zeus coming in on the inside of this green chariot. There they are. Right, well, the winner there was Julius Caesar. And the time of the fastest second was 63 seconds. 63 seconds. Keith Wonman. So Julius Caesar and Zeus with 63 seconds. Those are the two that go forward into the finals. Now then the lineup 42. Nearest the stand in the white chariot Antwerp. In the center, taking up his position, the red chariot Hero. And on the inside, the grey chariot with Hercules. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And the first to take up position here is the grey chariot. The grey chariot Hercules followed by Eros with the red chariot. The white chariot Tantalus taking up the third position. Here we are, the grey chariot still in the lead. Hercules with the 2 greys, the Romans and the Chestnut challenge that is strongly in the red chariot with Eros. Hercules still in the lead. Eros coming up very fast in the centre. With Tantalus flying third. Here they are, taking the sharp corner up the top end. With Hercules still in front. Hercules in the grey chariot. Tantalus second in the white chariot, very close behind. Eros has taken the glass corner a bit wide and stayed with his third. So here we are, this is the result. Hercules in the grey chariot is first. The white chariot, Tantalus is second. The time for Tantalus is 66 seconds. So Tantalus, I'm afraid, will not be in the final. 66 seconds, he will be in the semi-final. So for the final then will be Julius Caesar and Zeus with Hercules. Right, here we are. The lineup for the final on the start side. Tantalus here stands. With Eros in the center and on the inside Apollo. Right, this is the constellation sequence. These are the 2 who being third and the floor of the second. All set. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Apollo taking the lead. Apollo followed by Europe. And Consulus is third. Here they are picking up speed. Look at these small ponies here taking off very well down the sharp corner. Tremendous weight to these chariots. Apollo in the lead. Followed by Europe. With Consulus like third. One more lap. There they are. Oh, I think Apollo's got a firm lead here. Not so sure though. Here we are. There's the Eros coming up very strongly on the outside. I'm afraid that Eros is quite going to make it. So the winners of this, we give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. This was the consolation heat. First of the consolation heat was Apollo. Second was Eros in the red, and third, Consulus in the white. Well, thank you to you three in the consolation heat. If you just line up in the center of the ring, and then of course we will be presenting you with the next. Something for you to take back to Holland from the Royal Welsh Show of 1985. Now is the final. Now is the final over the stand side. We have the green final. And as soon as this is finished, there will be presentation of the deck, and then we will have the crossing in straight away over on the stand side. We have the green chariot there. With in the middle, Julius Caesar in the black chariot, and this side on the grey, got to lead. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Off goes the final. The final for the Wednesday night at the Royal Welsh Show 1985. Chariots and ponies from Holland. Here they are. In the lead, first is the great chariot with Hercules. Hercules in the lead. But Julius Caesar is in the inside. Is Julius Caesar going to have the advantage because he's on the inside? Julius Caesar getting very close to the ball now. Julius Caesar in the lead. Hercules. And on the outside going very fast rear, but of course he has much more distance to travel. Will he make it? Will he make it? Julius Caesar has lost his advantage on the inside. He's lost his advantage on the inside, and the great chariot is in front. Sneaks in on the inside, the great chariot. Hercules the winner. And there will be a focus for the second and third. A dead heat for second and third. Well, line up and please in the center of the ring to receive your respect. What an exciting climax. What an exciting climax indeed for the second day. Now then you might wonder, who is this man who is going round once more? Well, that man is Mike Flynn from Radio Wales. Mike Flynn from Radio Wales has jumped onto the winning chariot. Mike Flynn from Radio Wales, and if you want to hear all about it, tune in to Radio Wales tomorrow morning. Mike Flynn has in fact joined the chariot. The chariot is Julian Caesar. There we are, this is the lineup.
Hij moet hard gaan op die buitenkant. Ik denk dat het ook morgen.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Second. Very good. Welkom. Ja, jij mag even kijken.
Yes, they're all purebred Welsh mountains. We usually do other things with them. This is a stallion and she's in foal twin. Yes. That's why I keep them down. Next year. But they are very quiet. I have no doubts that they are allowed to the foal.
Did you breed them in Holland?
That one is important from here. Yes.
Okay.
Congratulations. Well done.
Ja, ik hoop dat je
Another tour.
Chick. Chick.
Breeds ponies as well.
Last one. Oh.
You sound so sweet. How long have you been doing this?
Just 2 o'clock.
Third time. Enjoy it.
Wie aan de buitenkant? En jij in de binnenkant.
Mensen toch! Waarom dan niet naast elkaar allemaal? Zo.
on your warm-up lap, please.
Maar hij kwam erin, ik zeg nou, je bent erin voor de grote finale.
Ik ken het niet.
No doubt that was rude.
Je kunt ze wat ver uit elkaar laten.
Nee, oh nee.
Oh, nou ja, is goed. Dat is leuk, het verschil van mij, dat geeft niet, dat is goed. Dan praat je even met die mevrouw. Oh, doet me niet, meisje. Oh, hiernaast staat een emmer. Hier aan deze kant.
Ja, die lang.
We'd like to welcome the judge in the commercial beef cattle classes, the Heritage Richards, Samson Hall, also of course a well-known breeder of Welsh black cattle. Commercial cattle into the ring. For those of you standing around the ring with your catalogues, do kindly note that there is in fact a misprint in 2475. It should read Sire Lumazan Cross.
What a grand class we got in front of us here. The winners in class BA5, first number 9, second
40 minutes.
Thank you.
Win Molly. Fifth, number 520, Mr. and Mrs. Fuller's Carmoney's Up Flying Comet. And sixth, number 1591, Mr. King's Menai Dilia by Twyford Marchog out of Menai Daffodil. So the official result first, one.
Temprano.
Over the other side, there are 130, £35 each.
They will go down through the Morton cross first. Dog will come round behind the handler.
Oh, stop the sheep coming up through there. That with our own friend. Let's be for the rest of the cup.
Hi, Mr. Miles is beating you, I'm sorry. Hi, yes, it's time up. Ready for offender. Understand. Thank you, Mr. Bill Miles, and Kay, give him a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. There is an urgent police message. There's a Mrs. Williams, whose friend is Mrs. Matthias. And Mrs. Williams is left with a large party of French children. And unfortunately, Mrs. Williams can't speak French. So Mrs. Matthias, if you can speak French, then you go and meet Mrs. Williams. After the Glen Bank by 2:30. That's the message for you. You go along with the trials and the next competitor will be the William Jones. There's another message before we go on to Wigan, which is for a second. This is for Mr. Glenn Jones of Aberfan. Mr. Glenn Jones of Aberfan, would you please contact the main office as soon as possible? Would Mr. Glenn Jones of Aberfan please contact the main show office as soon as possible? Right, we move on. Wyndham Jones and Pat, a local farmer from nearby here, a well-known competitor in Wales, and he's participating as one of the...
When he sent me back, but I never take anything on this matter.
Oh ja. Een papiertje onder een garantiebewijs.
Ja.
Dat we de zaak niet belazeren.
Als hij groen wordt, kan je hem inleveren.
Ja.
1 keer afwas als hij groen wordt.
Ja, hier komt.
Het gaat even om de toon ook, hè? Dat hebben we niet eens vergeten.
The way they handle the microphone is amazing, and the stewards are amazing for their assistance. As a token of our appreciation and gratitude, and as a memory for this event in the Royal Welsh facility, we went to hand you, Mr. President, a typical Dutch souvenir, and we do hope you will find a place for it in the Society's office. As to us, we shall take home the memory of taking part in a wonderfully organized show in the beautiful country of Wales. And I am sure that in the future many of us will come over again to watch the Galaxy of shows and displays presented here in the Royal Welsh Show. Thank you.
Als de zomer komt, dan varen wij met ponies naar Engeland. 28 Welsjes op de boot, zo naar de overkant. Door een vriendschapsband met Engeland, gaan wij uit Nederland. Later
gentlemen, for those very kind remarks. This place, which I'm sure will honour our officers here. We're very grateful for it. Wonderful piece of Delft. Beautiful. It's not yours, darling. Thank you very much indeed for coming here. We've thoroughly enjoyed not only your display, but the spirit behind it. All of you have been so jolly, and the great thing is you've got to have fun at these places. Unless you have fun, and you have exemplified the spirit of fun that we have at the Royal Welsh. So thank you very much for coming, thank you very much for this, and thank you for that wonderful song. I have to learn it.
Vast, Hans. Ga vast.
Kan je this chat has been said.
Okay. So we have just one with the carriage and everyone behind. There we go again. That's it.
Go to the front leg. Then we come round then to what we call the long blows. These are the longest blows on the sheep, right from the back up to the neck. And they're long, gentle sweeps, aren't they? That's right. As you can see, the sheep is about 2 minutes, I suppose, for the time you've caught the sheep and shorn it. Yeah.
Rather you than me, John. What after the show now?
Congratulations again, John. Thank you very much.
Mike, have you got something in your hand?
You know very well I have. You've been fiddling the mail again.
I got you this time, Mike.
Hey, I've got a pile of requests here actually, and you couldn't get any further than the Royal Welsh with what we're going to play next. But before we play it, I wonder who it's by. Happy birthday to Muriel Williams, who lives at Coed Cwmbran. Muriel's brother Keith wrote to us from Crumlin. He said it was difficult to think of a birthday.
Interbreed at the Essen show. The female championships went to Messrs. Debbie Way and K.R. Ashworth with a 3.5-year-old cow, Brittany Rose 4. And the reserves at the Shropshire and West Midlands. The cow out on her second time this year. The blondes are moving up, and here we have the great 4-year-old bull, Totteridge Scepter from E&A Stubbs. This bull winning the run and was senior bull champion at the Highland this year. Female from the same herd, the female champion from the same herd, the 6-year-old cow, Tanil Polida, female champion this year at the south of England. Then, as the bloomers ants disappear, we see the little Dexter cattle moving up, and the champion cow done so much for the breed. And Cap Max, a 5-year-old bull, weighing 1,085 kilos, 3 times winner here, twice a winner at the Royal of England, and 4 times winner at the 3 counties of Craig. Then we have the commercial cattle.
Before like that, but it's rather appropriate that we do have some old chariots racing around, or should I say sedately driving around the arena now. We've got some, dare I say, old crocs, yes, vintage cars out there from the early part of the century. But talking about vintage transport, I sampled some of the really vintage transport on offer here at the Royal Welsh Show in Builth Wells last night. Actually had a go in a chariot, driven by no less a person than Julius Caesar, otherwise known as a very daring Dutchman, Ad Bateman.
That's correct, yes. Well, I think you're about as daring as I am. Stepping beside me with all your equipment on your back, so no problem with that.
The chariots themselves look very much like the original Roman chariots.
Yes, in fact we have copied them, only they're a little bit smaller. They're built for Welsh mountain bike.
So why would Dutchmen be riding chariots with Welsh mountain ponies pulling them here at Builth Wells?
Well, we did last year in Holland on the national show there, and there were a lot of English people there who brought 23 Welsh cob stallions, and they thought it was a good idea for us to come to the Royal Welsh Show as a sort of return.
You had a lot of fun, I gather.
Oh, we had plenty of fun, and we are very well taken care of, and it's very amazing over here. We are quite impressed.
Incidentally, I'd like to tell you all at home that there was an interesting little twist to the construction of the chariot, because there we had it last night, a chariot supposedly originally built in the early part of what? couple of thousand years ago, and they got a serial number on them because the British customs insist they have serial numbers.
Yes, we come here on a so-called ATA carnet for temporary importation, and one thing custom people like is to see numbers and marks on them. So we attach the serial numbers.
Well, you had to do that to get through the customs. I'm pleased you made it. I'm pleased also I made it last night, because we lined up last night, all these chariots, and off they went racing around the arena, and eventually I thought the time had come for my ride, you see. Now the problem was, I thought I was actually going to go out there and just have a sedate little trip around the track once you'd finished the racing. What I didn't realise was that I barged in on the event. I raced over to the chariot, didn't I?
Well, I think you did it on purpose. You wanted to be in the final.
I didn't. I thought I was going to have a nice little trip. This is what happened. I climbed on board the chariot and prepared for the off.
The classic car following its course is the Jaguar.
Great! Oh, that was close. It was close. Yeah. I'm afraid you're too heavy. Yes. We had a handicap.
22 exactly, and we have got a spokesman from the thing here.
Well, I think I can understand now why they carry lions on the side. No alcohol now? No. Well, there we are. Just ready for a stop now, and I must say thank you very much. So I'm glad to be off the thing, but I'm sorry you wasn't late because of this. No. As you can see, I made it. I'm still here in one piece. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves here.
We've enjoyed ourselves very much here.
And there is in fact a chariot race this evening against...
There's one more to go at 4:45.
I heard you're racing against somebody else.
It was said so that the winner of the Roman chariot races is challenged to race against Hans Trossi.
Each end of the ring, showing the strength of these longbows and the range. That's great robotic.
The flag in his mouth. Yes, look at the... What, Clive, what? And the foal. Oh, we know him. Who trained you to get
In Holland with the ponies to enjoy themselves. And here we are, we have 6 teams. In order, Tantalus in the white chariot, Zeus in the green chariot, the second. Here we are. In the lead is Hercules, Hercules followed by Tantalus, Tantalus with Eros running third. Cheer them on, ladies and gentlemen, they go all the faster.
Well, in every series like this game at Welsh, first is come in, Roy, and they'll come up with the back, and the inside will be the Tigers, and the outside will be Roy Wilson with runaway back. They'll come forward on the opposite, the finishing coach, and the and he starts, I don't know whether our friends and partners understand me, but he starts a couple of seconds.
Geweldig hoor. Zonder niks aan verloren. Gewoon geweldig.
Hey, nou wil ik een rondje op te zijn en hij had een rondje op te zijn.
Nee, doe dat nou niet. Maak er geen ongeluk. Ja. We zijn alles heel gebleven.
Lift the back up.
Jongens, even die paard uitspannen, even dekens.
Moet je die andere ook nog hebben erbij?
Wilt de kampioen even kijken? Ja, zo is dat goed.
Maar het is, alleen is het niet zo spannend als met 3 van die wagens.
Leuk hè? Ja.
Want als 3 wagens veel te
Bij het bakkie, ja. Ja, die derde van jou,
Herman, die lui aan de overkant, hij had niet eens gemerkt. Hij had dus wij mochten het, ja, maar die waren de moeder. Dus rood, wij mochten het niet smal maken. Jij was de eerste om het smal maken. Dus we hadden een smal optie en een brede, dus nou wie de helft al.
Rico, ga op.
Aan de andere kant kwam smal maken. Dat waren denk ik, dat waren die en die hadden wel in de gaten als het 2 keer smal waren.
Ja hoor, ik nog wel met.
Oh.
Dan is het niet kunnen dat we dat over.
Dat zal er al.
Oh, dan heb je dat niet.
Ja,
Ja?
Victor, 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 Victor. Ah. Mooi hè?
Keep a moment.
What is happening now? I'm going.
Oh, sorry.
Dick, we are all together here, and I would like to thank you for all the things you have done for us. We have appreciated all the very well care you have taken for us. You have done a lot of things. Yesterday night we drove up the hill to get dogs and security personnel. I don't have words enough to say how much we appreciated that you were here to take care of us. So we have some little things for you.
Nee, jij geeft
We know that you are a whiskey drinker. Yesterday evening you had some to share. So we thought we had for you a bottle of whiskey. I hope it is a good brand. We don't know the brands in England.
It's Miriam.
Or in Wales. Kom, Miriam. Geef u meneer maar een hand.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
So we have another present for you.
Oh, I appreciate.
You have one from Holland.
Yes.
We have your address. You get some more.
I treasure this very much. When I get more aged, I'm going to put this on my sideboard.
Yeah.
I think of the happy days that I've had with all of you. Oh no, what? Oh, that's so good.
Als je nou maar zo voeten gewas, hè?
Ja, het is een grootje, joh, die gaat worden.
Vraag nog helemaal.
3 paar sokken. Moet er geen muis in?
Allemaal beslechten erin zijn, zie je? Dat is helemaal goed aangeklaagd.
Oh, no all in my sock.
Oké.
Zingen.
Zingen, wat moet zingen dan?
Ik ken het niet uit het hoofd.
Nee, ik ook niet.
Als de zomer komt, dan varen wij met die naar
We have made some other thing. Oh, it's done today, or yesterday. You made it here. You can read what's standing of it. Yeah? Yeah?
It is indeed an honor.
Geweldig.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for all.
One and all, thank you very, very much.
Ik kan erop skiën.
Here's the truck fixed. I run to Harwich and tell them you are late. If you tell your age, then you get too old for the job.
Yeah.
Ja, pik er een paar bij de wc nog op.
Ja, en Potdijk moet ook nog tanken.
Ja, weet ik, ga ook met Shell tanken.
Wat zeg je?
Potdijk gaat bij de Shell tanken.
Tot ziens.